You mentioned contemporary, and I know that's one of our three areas here at Tech,
Yes.
with jazz and ballet. And so, what exactly is contemporary dance? If you
That's
could.
a $64,000 question. So contemporary, I mean, people will argue and say, well, it's just modern with a new name. I would say you have the technique of modern of your standards of Horton or Cunningham, Martha Graham. These are great names, legendary.
Hmm.
And then you have contemporary, which some people may say, oh, it's more like So You Think You Can Dance, which is more jazz lyrical. But then you can have neoclassical, which is on point, but a little bit more angular moves. So it can be anything. If you take a contemporary company such as, you would say, Alvin Ailey, what is that? Is that contemporary or is that modern? Because they follow the Horton technique, but they do everything. So contemporary can be all areas of dance. It's predominantly more lyrical and more, I shouldn't say lyrical, but it's predominantly not on point. I would
Hmm.
say that. But there is contemporary on point. Companies such as Lines Dance Company, Complexions, Aspen Santa Fe, actually every ballet company in the world does contemporary. And so now you have to be a triple threat. You've got to be able to do it all. And not just now, even in my day when I was dancing professionally, we had to do all of it. But at the base layer, no matter what, you have to have technique. It doesn't matter what dance form, you've got to have that knowledge, that skeleton, which is ballet.
Hmm.
Whether and that's not, that's colorblind. That's just technique of, how do you write, how do you do a
Right.
plie, and that's in anything. So contemporary is more modern based. Ballet technique obviously it's quite difficult, and most professional contemporary dancers have strong ballet training in their background.
Okay. And I guess when you meet with incoming dance students from young on to college,
Mhm.
do they have a preference one over the other? Do you think?
Um, most people are gonna. It just depends. Ballet is so difficult that it has to be taught at a young age. Sometimes it can go older if you've got natural genetics that you can start later in life. Misty Copeland would be one.
Mm.
But most of the time, if you're going to truly do ballet, you're going to start at a young age and you're going to stick with it. The good thing about doing ballet is you can usually go into any other genre, and just
Mhm.
like you see ballet stars going on Broadway,
Mm.
going on to musical videos. It's easy. Whereas if you have someone who's maybe 18 that doesn't have strong ballet training, they're going to want to do contemporary
Mm.
or musical theater, just because the technique of ballet is so hard that it's very repetitious. You have to take class every day, so it's difficult. So
Mhm.
I would say most people in college want to go the contemporary route.
Okay. Interesting. So I guess another question I have for you is there any faculty member while you were going through college or younger than that really influenced you to decide to make a career out of dance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I went to University of Utah, and Conrad Ludlow is my number one. I just look to him as the influence. He was my first kind of exposure to Balanchine, which is
Mhm.
the founder, was the founder of New York City Ballet, and his technique. And Conrad was a performer, principal dancer a long time ago with them. And he gave me confidence, and then he also inspired me to that kind of movement. And then just all of his classes, I just felt it was so challenging but so strong. And then also his personality, he was almost like mentor. And so he definitely influenced me to give me the confidence. And then after that, I had so many teachers and choreographers. Daniel Katnack was a director I worked with in New York City, who's still a phenomenal master teacher there. And his choreography, I love everything he does. So I've had lots of, and obviously Suzanne Aker, who I
Mhm.
began with in Lubbock, but in Syracuse when I began dance, it was with Cheryl Woodmansey and Deborah Boughton. So there's all these teachers in your life that you just pull from to become the teacher that you are.